Greetings, folks. Nami was 12 back again, another video. Here to talk about this whole Saban Super Megaforce fiasco that's gotten a lot of people in the Power Rangers fandom basically all up in flames. I'm gonna say this. I'm kind of about to go in on Saban and this. I actually kind of got a little upset about it at first, but I'm kind of over it now. But there's a lot of stuff I want to get off my chest about this. And after that, I'll be completely over it. Because I'm still going to watch Super Megaforce, but like I've been saying, Megaforce has kind of been dragging lately. I mean, it's okay. It's an okay season. It ain't just flat out terrible. It ain't no Samurai or no Jungle Fury or nothing like that, but I'm going to flat out say it. I mean, Megaforce, I'll say Megaforce is, I'll give it an, it's okay. But anyway, let's talk about Saban. I'm kind of questioning whether or not Saban wants this to. I want long-time Power Ranger fans to watch this season, and what can get people excited about this season. We're gonna get, and this is something else I kind of want to rant about in a way. It seems like it's gonna have the Rangers are gonna have a lot going on. I don't understand why couldn't they just have gotten a flat out new cast? Why couldn't they have just, because we're gonna get the Gokaiger suits, but they're gonna be power ups. We're still gonna get the still gonna have the, I guess, the Megaforce, the Ghost Sager suits. Then they're gonna, I guess, use keys to morph into the. I guess they may get a new morph or something. Use the keys to, or probably use the cards. Their cards. Use the cards or whatever, keys or whatever they're gonna use to morph to the Gokaiger suits as power ups, and then got to use keys or cards to morph into other past Rangers. I mean, seems like they're gonna have a lot going on. Why couldn't they either have just did a Zeo or hell, a Turbo or Zeo, or even an in space thing where they still have most of the same team, but just most of the same cast, but just give them new powers? Why couldn't they just have done that? I would have rather seen that than and they just pull a Zeo or something where they transition from the Mighty Morphin powers to the Zeo powers, and like from the Zeo powers to Turbo powers, from the Turbo powers to in space powers, or something like that. They could have done something like that. Um, and still, I would also like to have seen a newer cast. I mean, I'm not here for the whole two seasons with the same cast thing. I'm not really here for that anymore. But yeah, it worked during Mighty Morphin, but we hadn't had it since Mighty Morphin. Well, we had it in Zeo. Most of the Mighty Morphin season 3 cast went to Zeo and then with the Turbo, but really kind of Lost Galaxy was the first that we got a we got a new team every season. Well, they do call Mighty Morphin through In Space the Saban era. But anyway, and I guess you kind of can say Lost Galaxy in a way kind of has some, because it had like characters from the Saban, the quote unquote Saban era in it. But anyway, I'm kind of questioning whether or not Saban wants this to like I said earlier, I'm kind of questioning whether he wants it to succeed, because apparently a lot of past cast members have went on record and said, or have been rumored to have said that they I know for a fact that Red Fisher, and this is something I really want to rant about, who was Ryan, the Titanium Ranger from Lost Lightspeed Rescue, he was the very first American made Ranger. But apparently he went out and tweeted and said Saban asked him to come back, and so Saban flat out asked him to come back, and then turn around and uninvited him because of budget restrictions. I'm like, I know Power Rangers is a non-union show, but doesn't Nickelodeon, does Nickelodeon not help finance the show? I mean, from what I understand, I know I don't know, I don't really know much about the behind the scenes stuff like that, but my understanding is, why can't Nickelodeon? I know Nickelodeon. I mean, they go all out for shows like they They go all out for SpongeBob. I mean, they all these damn all the SpongeBob specials. I know a lot of kids love SpongeBob. I have little cousins that love SpongeBob as well as Power Rangers. True enough, um, but yeah, I mean, seriously, I mean, how couldn't they have? I mean, I ain't like Red Fisher's just flat out. Red Fisher is basically flat out expensive because I really hadn't seen him do nothing else besides Lightspeed Rescue. He may have done some independent stuff acting wise. I really hadn't seen him do nothing else. But anyway, so apparently he's not gonna be there. And also, I hear Karen Ashley, who was basically one of my childhood, her as well as Amy Jo Johnson was like they were basically my first childhood crushes as a kid. Um, Apparently Karen Ashley said she was invited to come back, but she turned it down because I think they actually wanted her. They didn't want her. They only wanted her to do like. Well, they didn't want her to do much, is what I'm hearing. They didn't want her to do much. Or it could have been. Or I also think it had something to do with money with her too, with money wise, and also Steve Cardenas, who played Rocky, one of my favorite Rangers, and Rocky's always been one of my favorite Rangers, and he was very underrated in my opinion. He was a very underrated Ranger, but anyway, he was asked to come back, but he also turned it down. He went on record and said he turned it down because I think he may have, I don't know if he has Twitter. I'm not somebody say he put it on Facebook or tweeted it or whatnot. He said he turned it down because they only wanted him to do one scene. It was only for one scene. I'm like, why? And I applaud him for turning it down. I understand why he turned it down because I would, as an actor myself, I would turn that down too. It ain't no way I'm gonna fly all the way to New Zealand to do a show that I was on, to come back and do a show that I basically kind of helped put on the map in a way. Well, actually, Tommy kind of helped put this show on the map, but with Jason David Frank, and we know he's probably eventually going to come back because he's been teasing on Facebook and also on Twitter. I follow him on Facebook or Twitter and whatnot. He's been teasing that he canceled a Portland Portland convention, a convention in Portland or something like that, and that he canceled it because he has to go to New Zealand and do some filming. I'm like, what else would, if that's true, what else would he be going to New Zealand to film? Seriously, I mean, he's not that big of an actor. True enough, I don't know if he still, as opposed to Power Rangers, I don't know if he still does acting and whatnot. But I know he does a lot of conventions and still does his martial arts training in his schools and whatnot. But what else would Jason David Frank seriously be going to New Zealand to film? But anyway, back to Steve Cardenas, and I mean, I don't understand why would they even feel they need to bring. I feel they should bring Rocky back, but um I wouldn't want him. I really wouldn't want him to come back just to do one little scene. And there's no way because from what I hear they have to, from what I hear, the American actors have to basically provide for themselves. They have to basically provide for themselves over there. And Steve Cardenas said he kind of feel, I don't feel like feel that way too. It would be pointless for him to, because he lives in California. I think he lives in Burbank, California. To leave California, go all the way to New Zealand, basically to do one little, basically to do one little scene. That's kind of stupid in my opinion. Anyway, and also I hear I also read on Twitter that well, I don't follow him, but Jason Font, who played Wes on Time Force, I think Ron